morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm Abigail Spanberger. I represent Virginia's 7th District in Congress, and now because of redistricting, that has really shifted some of the communities that I represent. I have represented most of Spotsylvania County since I was first elected in 2018, but after redistricting, we now have all of Spotsylvania County, as well as Stafford and the city of Fredericksburg. I think regionally, this is an excellent shift because frankly so much of what we work on in our office, the work that we do with local and with state elected officials, with community leadership, and with community organizations, making sure that we are encompassing the greater region, hopefully will allow us to better serve the community and certainly all of you. I think there's time, I think I was allotted about 15 minutes to make some comments and answer questions. So I'll be quick with the comments so I can give you long-winded answers to many of the questions that you might ask. I'm self-aware with my answers to questions. But I do want to just say thank you so much for inviting me again to join you today. I have been proud to be endorsed by the National Chamber in both of my re-elections. And that is really a result of the fact that I have endeavored to focus on solutions. A lot of the problems and challenges that our country faces, from supply chain issues to inflation to workforce challenges, be it pipeline and development issues, to hiring someone today and tomorrow. A lot of those problems can't be fixed in a day, and so we need to be focused on what are some of the root causes, what are some of the challenges, how can we chip away at the problem, and how can we endeavor to make progress. And I have done a lot of that work in coordination with and informed by the communities that I represent, the small business leaders I represent, people really telling me the heart of the challenges that they're facing. And so, at the heart of what it is that I've been doing, and I believe one of the kind of foundational reasons that the National Chamber endorsed my candidacy is because that work has been there, and certainly they've been a good partner. I just want to mention a couple pieces of legislation relevant to you all potentially. Certainly the infrastructure bill, it has now been in law for over a year. This legislation was a culmination of months and months, if not years and years of effort, certainly understanding that we needed to make investments in our roads and our bridges and our physical infrastructure, broadband connectivity. Shout out to the electric co-op folks in the room for their dedicated work, but really ensuring that we say and understand that investments in our physical infrastructure now means that we are making proactive investments. One of the most interesting conversations I had was I was with some Virginia Department of Transportation officials. We were looking at the Falmouth Bridge, which is now going to be repaired, currently in poor condition. And I was asking about the numbers of being able to move up and through the list of bridges and roads that need repair. What does that mean kind of long term? And they were saying that typically, very sort of broad brush, it's about 50% savings if you are doing preventative maintenance on a bridge rather than if you are getting to the point. Of course, size, scope, span, all of it matters. But the idea that we can make proactive investments in repairing those bridges that are in poor condition, that are heavily trafficked and traveled, but then also now we have dollars available to do the preventative maintenance and actually, save ourselves some dollars, not wait till things get in that kind of really urgent circumstance. It's incredibly beneficial. Notably, there's already been $3 million to reduce congestion on Route 1 right here in the region between exit 126 and Fayetteville Boulevard. And we were out, and I'm trying to see if anybody, I think, Bonnie, were you there?
I was here.
But I don't remember if you were at the event. Where we went and walked through and saw what it's going to mean. And I was there with a couple members of the Spotsylvania Board of Supervisors to basically look at what does it mean for a change to have major investments coming to the region that's going to help ensure that when the VA clinic is up and built and finished, that the road congestion, that's a separate investment, is going to matter. And so that's investments through community project funding, that's investments through the bipartisan infrastructure bill, and it's going to impact people. The Chips and Science Act, this is one that I love because from a national security perspective, we have to bring our development and our production of chips back home to the United States. It matters to get a supply chain away from being so reliant on China and Taiwan. And Virginia is well positioned to be a leader in this area. So from a jobs perspective, from a supply chain resiliency perspective, and certainly from a national security perspective, it's incredibly important. On some of the education and workforce development issues, I've worked with Congressman Whitman on an effort to ensure that folks who may not want to go to a 4-year college, might want to do a certification program, might want to, even if they're out in the workforce and want to make sure that they can get an additional credential to add to their list of qualifications, that they can use their 529 savings for that. And so expanding the flexibility of those 529 savings for those who choose to save in that way is important. That's a wholly bipartisan effort. We continue to push it forward. We hope to see it move forward. But it's just being responsive to the needs of the community. One final note before I open it up to questions. For those from Stafford and those from Fredericksburg City, I welcome contact with our office. I would love to come and visit your business. I would love to sit down and organize roundtables. If you are interested in engaging with our office, please do let us know. I am going to be leaving early. I have to go to an event in Chesterfield, so I unfortunately won't be staying after, but I really would just love to be able to cultivate additional relationships in those communities and in the business communities that I will now be representing beginning January 4th. And also of note, any federal agency we can provide support, SBA, IRS, if any of your employees are veterans, VA issues, somebody has a trip plan and their passport's not updated, call us. That's what we do. We love to be helpful. And with that, I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you, and I look forward to answering your questions. I also have a town hall this evening. I believe it's at 7:30, so for those who are currently in the district, you'll be getting the usual dial out. For those who are not, it's live stream on Facebook. You can dial in, and it's on our congressional webpage as well.